Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar series from BLIS, Brazilian Language Industry Association. Um, we are here. This is a webinar series, but this won't be like a regular webinar. It's more like a good conversation. And I'm really happy that Diego accepted our invitation. Thank you again, Diego. It's
Thank you.
I'm really happy to have this conversation with you. You are a person that I really admire, and I'm really happy about it. Thank you again.
Thank you, Paulo. It's a pleasure. I admire you as well.
Oh,
So this goes back to you. Absolutely.
thank you very much. I will just say a bit about Bliss, and then we start to talk. Bliss is the first association representing the companies in the linguistic service sector here in Brazil, there in Brazil. The aim, our target is develop and help the industry in Brazil to develop, especially regarding what or about the topic that we are talking right today, AI. And we want to establish and represent the Brazilian market of companies and create a safe environment for the and sharing of information, knowledge, and developing the companies, the linguists, the whole sector, the universities as well, and develop the whole sector towards the future because we'll talk about more of that today, but this is something uh, that we need to talk. I know that sometimes it's a little bit boring. Oh no, let's talk about AI. Yeah, I know that sometimes it's a bit boring, but this is something that we need to talk, we need to address, we need to be as much prepared as we can. But so Bliss aims to be at the forefront of this talking of and permitting and allowing, enabling these conversations. And we have today Diego Cresceri from Creative Words. And we at Bliss, we work with this webinar series. We had our second conference in late June, and it was like 2 days of a lot of content and really good speakers. It was in Rio, sunny. It was the perfect. It was like it were perfect, and people. I know that people left the conference really happy and satisfied with what they see, they heard, they talk, and this is what we want to do. We want as well talk with the universities, allowing students and teachers to see what is happening, and so they can address these changes for the future generations more quickly. And let's start it. I think, oh no, I need to talk. Next month, we'll have, in October, we'll have a webinar from Miriam Garcia Visuete from Cobalt, and she'll talk about uh, operation in how to manage operations in LSP. It's a really good topic and complements what we are talking right now, taking all the advancements, all the developments in technology and how to address everything for our companies. All this being said, Diego, let's start. I
Yeah, you said so
know,
many things that it's a webinar itself. All the things you said. I'm really happy to be here. You are right. We need to discuss these topics.
yeah,
Absolutely, urgently.
yeah, of course. Yeah, it's crucial. It's crucial, and everything's interconnected.
Yeah.
And one of the things, and I'll just jump this question to you because I think we are seeing that on LinkedIn in the late days. I sent you the link. I probably you already saw it. I know that about the CEO of the Atlantic talking about the market and how they start to using translation. at the same time, we saw the research from CSA Research, and I can say from Bliss because we talked a little bit about it. The sense were, yeah, I think that this research is more what we are seeing with our companies, and I know that you just posted. I don't know if it was today. I think it was today about or yesterday about the research from NIMSY and CSA Research. Please talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, this was my Saturday's activity actually. It was raining here. It's not as sunny as in Portugal, so I had nothing to do, and I wanted my kids to study. So I had to study myself, and I got to read the two researchers, and they found quite a little differences in the approach and in the feeling that I got after reading each of them. So I made this post comparing them, and one was more on the positive side, and one was more on the negative side. I know
Yeah.
you said already that you feel more aligned with CSA. There are many truths in that report,
Yeah.
like many. There are some truths in the Lindsay report as well, I think. I think the approach should be balanced. It's true, as Lindsay said, that we are playing a bigger game. If you want, we are more in the, and this was mentioned by CSA as well.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the content industry right now.
Yeah.
I believe Konstantin Drang said once that the content industry is 100 times bigger than the translation industry. So the cake is bigger.
Yeah.
We need to get our slice as well of that cake, I believe. I more often than not, I feel more aligned with CSA as well because this is what I'm seeing in the industry. I'm seeing many companies like shutting down
Mm-hmm.
in Europe. I believe I read about 4 in the last 2 weeks, which is of course crazy.
Yeah.
And I see very harsh conversations between freelancers and LSPs.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting worse than it used to be. It was not
Yeah.
great, but it's getting even worse. I do think that probably the LSPs are the most threatened, but probably even the bigger ones should talk about these topics and get to change quite quickly because every company I'm talking with is in challenging times. And I got a report. Well, it was an email trying to sell me the report, not the report itself. There are 21 companies in Italy, and usually the report includes 150.
Whoa.
21 are in very difficult financial situation.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy the report because first I want to see if I'm there as well. I might, and secondly, I'm involved in local associations as well. I do want to try and see if we can join forces basically and move on because I think that there's also a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but there's a huge opportunity out there for us to get for us companies and for linguists as well.
Yeah. And when you said about Caroline, I saw your hand. I will let you talk. Just let me. But one of the things you said about LSPs are more threatened, and I understand that the if and I believe that it's on CSA research. If the LSPs don't reinvent themselves or try to adapt more about the changes that are happening, they'll probably be left behind. And this is why you said we are more threatened.
I think so, yes. I mean, I really believe the linguistic skills will be more and more needed in different steps of the workflow, not in translation. I was actually delete the word translation forever because I think it's not attractive anymore to anyone, even students. I think we need to invent ourselves and do many other things. The linguists, I believe, are better positioned right now if they do the change, if they pivot as well. They stay like most of them are. I believe they are also threatened, but LSPs. I mean, there are many processes as well that I used to add value on that are kind of threatened as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just the linguistic bit that we do normally, but we're threatened on the old supply chain or workflow, I think.
Yeah. I will I will I will put Caroline to do you want
Yeah,
to speak? Let me just allow her to talk. Hi, Caroline. Do you want to can you can you speak? Caroline? Caroline? No? Um, yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah. Let me just if you want to put your question, just put in the chat and I will allow again. And I was one of the things that I wanted to talk as well regarding the video of the CEO from the Atlantic. It's one of the things that he said was that more companies are using machine translation, and that requires more linguists to review and validate that output from AI. And he said no, and he said like the linguists are receiving better payments and the salaries and everything. And one of the things that crossed my mind is because we have like the difference, especially on LinkedIn, because we know that the pressure for the rates are it's to decrease. And do you see that these companies are paying more for this part of receiving more, the wave more, it's more for the companies itself, for the corporate side, and for us in the chain, it's more now the pressure is to go down and go down and go down. How can you interpret, how can you see that, the interpretation of what he said?
I think that even corporations have big price pressures, inflations, whatever. I mean, we've seen the layoffs in the past months in all big corporations, right? So they are all aiming to cut costs, and most of the times it happens to us as well because they cut costs as well because they have their own pressures. And I wouldn't say that the prices are getting better for us, of course. So this I don't believe. Probably not. I do also want to mention that if you cannot probably compare too much in weights for translation with the weights for post-editing, and it's even more difficult to compare the weights of the translation with the weights for AI post-editing or in any case AI. I tend to differentiate machine translation and AI. I know that machine translation is also AI, but I mean when I say AI, I say
Generative.
usually I mean generative AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean I believe the way to think is of course real. I mean the pressure is there. I don't really always understand the narrative of comparing the rates because we're talking about different services,
Yeah.
and we're talking potentially about different productivity, different tools, different skills. And so I wouldn't really want to compare the rates. Of course, it's going down, but I have many post editors, and this is what I've been doing from the start of my company that are getting a lot of volumes and are getting a lot of money at the end of the month. I wish I got their money. So I mean, it really depends. But again, I think now it's not even the moment to compare the rates, even because translation is in any case going down in terms of volumes.
Yeah.
I have customers that give me like amazing rates, but they're just disappearing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it needs to be sustainable for the whole supply chain. Of course, we do our best to keep that sustainability, but I mean, we still need to. If you are in a company, you have fixed costs, you have
Yeah.
employees, you have project managers. We need the volumes as well, right?
Yeah. We work
We
with the
don't
volumes.
just
Yeah.
need to have, yeah, I mean, if we have an amazing price list with amazing rates and nobody buys, I mean, it's no use for anyone.
Exactly. And one one of the things that I remember it's when because machine translation is there, it's already like within our process. Machine translation is not new; it's old already. And when ChatGPT like launched, it was like desperation, people with fear, and especially because we didn't know, we still don't know, but at that time it was like a totally unknown thing. Now there's already GPT-4, GPT-01, and we can see, and we understand now, after all the desperation part, we can see now that AI is not one size fits all. And I can see now that some clients, especially in the part of the corporate side, they are understanding it better, that it is no one size fits all. And picking up this, and one size it's not does not fits all. Do you see in this part an opportunity for LSPs and linguists? How can we take advantage of this? Because
Yeah.
we can see that we saw that, especially going to Lockworld and other conference, we understand that the pressure is from the CEO to the localization department. They want to know, what are you doing with AI? And in Bliss conference, we had a roundtable with three representatives from the buyer side, and they talk the same thing. It's a pressure from the CEO, and they want to understand what we are doing with AI to cut costs, to efficient the process, all of this. It was not long. It's not anymore like machine translation that is direct for the translation people, and we know how to use it. Now it's from people from outside of our industry putting pressure. How do you see, how can we take advantage of this one size does not fit all?
And sorry for that. I would like to contradict you on what you said at the beginning of the questions. When last February ChatGPT was launched, I didn't see desperation. Actually, I see many for companies, unfortunately, ignoring that it was happening.
Oh, really?
But it was pretty clear that, I mean, OpenAI issued a report back then, and translation and interpreting was the first most threatened job back then in February. And we are into it, what I believe it's more than 18 months. And now it's desperation because we are experiencing what AI was threatening in that OpenAI was threatening that report. We're seeing that it's happening. So there is desperation, absolutely. I do see an opportunity. I do see an opportunity for us to talk with our customers and telling them that, I mean, they are already starting realizing themselves that they need us, they need linguistic skills to make a good use of those, of that technology. Because if you are a linguist, I mean, I was then in a webinar by, all the gurus that are out there now on how to use ChatGPT, it's full of them. But I can see, for instance, their prompting is really, really bad. I can see their output is as bad as the prompt, of course, because it's always garbage in, garbage out. We can do a much better job in using those tools, in validating the outputs, in improving the output, which I know that some linguists don't like to do. I know that for sure. But this is where we can still add a lot of value as well. And I also see a very big polarization between, and it was kind of the same with machine translation, but now it's even worse. I mean, it's more than two, poles at the moment. Probably I see customers coming to us, and customers asking very high quality added value jobs like UX designer, UX writing, copywriting. It's kind of disappearing as well as standard copywriting, but I was never approached with UX writing requests, and now they're coming to us for that as well. And this very high value. And of course, there is all the rest that is given to AI, and then we need to edit it as well. But again, as you said, the pressure is coming from above, because if you are a CEO, you cannot avoid telling your people not to use AI. You have to do that. Probably the board will, judge you as well on how much AI you use. So
Yeah.
it's quite tough at the moment. But we do have, I mean, I'm totally sure that we can provide value. Totally. If we, again, kind of shift a bit.
Yeah. And I there's a comment here in the Q&A. I'll just read it, but it is one of the things that is I can see from our experience in our company that sometimes it's a little bit hard. Do you see how you shift? What what is the what is missing for you to make the shift and enter like in the AI and machine translation and offer that to our clients? We are talking about that before going here, and it was like from our experience because we don't see we work with some end clients and we don't see what they are thinking. We can't see what they are thinking. And it's a little bit hard for us to reach out these clients and say, hey, we have machine translation. And they respond, hey, and how about your rate? And it's really hard for this is security, because as we were talking, like we have the traditional way, the translation, revision, two people there working on the text, maximum quality. Now, if we approach and if we don't approach, what can happen?
Yeah. Let me start by saying that we need to approach the clients because, as you said, everybody has pressures and everybody's thinking about it for sure. Everybody's doing their own tests and pilots. So we need to, I mean, it's even too late, but we need to talk with our customers, even they're not coming to us. They do want to try to save money, okay? So they might even be thinking, I will not use an LSP anymore. So we need to talk with them. We need to talk with them and tell them and educate them again, because we've been there already, that they need to know what they're doing. And we are in the best position to do so. It's not easy at all. At all. I've been preaching that with my team since last year, but it's difficult. It's difficult to have the opportunity to sit with their teams and discuss together in a consultancy role, because this is what we should need to do. It's really tough. So I never had a very structured sales department. So sometimes I reach out to people, and usually I would look for a translation program manager or localization program manager. Now we can, and there's a report of Slater, I think that I don't have it, but I think it lists the role that we can get in touch with. And it's a long list, it's getting longer every day. It's content, I saw an announcement by someone at Dell that she entered the newly created team of content intelligence. Oh. Today, I got an email from an MLV saying that we lost the Dell account that they had. Imagine why, because they're shifting, they're going away from localization. Yeah. And I guess my MLV customer, this is confidential, but okay. And maybe they did a good job of talking with them, and they are a big MLV. So what Dell did is, let's get rid of the MLV. Yeah. Maybe to go to someone that was quicker in talking with them and show them that they could do something. We need to show that we can help them to solve their problems. And it's also an opportunity. I'm seeing more customers coming to us. Okay, we are classic SLV, single language vendor. I see more customers coming to us with multilingual requests. I think we did a good job in kind of trying to shift since last year. So we are kind of readier than the average companies probably, but the opportunities are coming now. And you mentioned the rates, and that's the comment in the Q&A. You're right. I don't remember the name of who posted the comment. Let me say Samira. You are totally right. We need to demand that the customer is clear about their requirements. Yeah. But there's a but. I also think that if you're talking about end customers, at least they are now probably getting more interested about the output than on the process. And it's up to us to develop a process that gives the output that they want using the tools that we can master, I think. And this was the same with machine translation as well. My customers, my end customers, they don't care about the fact that we are certified. We are ISO certified. We were among the first one to get machine translation post-editing certified. But this is only something that the MLBs in our case are interested in. My customers, their email is, I want this document in English. And they don't care at all about how we get there. They look at the output and say, no, it's good, it's not good.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want in the middle, whatever. I mean, privacy matters, of course.
Yeah.
We don't just put their content on ChatGPT, but I think they want to see a good output. Where whatever process we use to get there, they don't care, and that's also an opportunity, I
Yeah.
think. But if you work with the MLBs, it happens, or LSP, even LSPs, they should be clear about their requirements.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, the linguists are doing the job. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we can, as companies, we can add value even before translation or whatever, processing we put there. We can prep the files in a given way. We can segment them in a given way. We can apply multiple translation memos, glossaries, whatever. But we need to be clear about what we want from the linguists, and we shouldn't even, sometimes explain to the customer how we got there.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I was even telling you before we got into air live, it was one client of ours just cut off the revision process. It's like because they want to pay lower rates, they took out the revision, and it was like, yeah, okay. What's about the quality about it? It's uh it's a little bit hard to see these mixed signals because you can
Yeah.
see, oh, we want high quality, yeah, but now we won't pay for revision.
And I guess that's an MLB customer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they come to us asking TP for ridiculous rates. They
yeah,
know that we don't offer TP. They know we can't fit 3 people working on their
yeah.
documents for those rates. They know them perfectly. I know it's a tough word.
It's our market sometimes it I think it's like the purpose of the conversation, of course, is not to talk about all about rates, but and it's really, I understand, Samira, that is really frustrating, this type of misunderstandings and not being clear about the requirements and everything, especially because the rates go down and everything. But and we need, and one, this is one of the things that we started here in our company, is we need to talk about more and talk about with clients more about it. Look, this is not good for the quality. This will affect the quality. And one of the things that we talk, and you put here about human translation quality for light and TPE, is one of the things that is the quality requirements and the quality expectations. Our end clients want, as you said, Diego, end clients wants like really good quality. And we have documents sometimes. In my case, in my company, we never receive a request for end client. No, look, the quality doesn't matter. I never received that any type of this request. And but we need to understand and we need to talk clearly with our clients when this is not aligned. Rates, the deadlines, right? And this is something that we need to, even LSPs, linguists, all of them. And I talk as well with my team when they approach the linguists that work for us as well. So this is something
Yeah,
that we all have to talk about it. I
absolutely.
We have
I do get requests for lower quality translations,
yeah,
honestly, because there are some wise customers that understand that if they need 200,000 words over a weekend, they cannot get the consistency and the highest quality possible. But what they want at this moment in that situation is speed, not quality. So
Yeah.
you always need to talk with your
Yeah.
customers.
And we have here Anonymous. In your opinion, how can the high cost of technology be reconciled with customers' expectation of lower prices?
I spotted the questions before, and I was thinking when we were talking. I mean, if we're talking about AI, I think the technology is not prohibited in terms of cost. The use of the AI itself. Then, if you want to build your own workflow and your own solutions, then you need to have someone working on the technology, and that's another story. I have a team of 6 people. I have an engineer. I have different people, and that gets costly. In my case, though, I have to say that the highest cost I spent on cut tools, which is crazy. It's crazy. I don't see the added value for my company of all the features that they are implementing. Maybe it's more on the linguist to get to see those benefits. And yeah, they're getting crazy with their costs. And I'm not even sure if they will be relevant in 3 years, those tools, because again, maybe it will not be about translation anymore. It will be about content, multilingual content generation or something else. We still don't know. That's the cost that I don't want to spend on technology. I believe we should invest on understanding generative AI and follow all the advancements that are there. It's crazy. I generated images today. They are so real that it was incredible.
Yeah.
For instance, and my prompt was starting from an article that we published. So imagine, having an article and looking for the right image, or maybe even buy the image, and you can generate it like this. That technology is not too costly, I would say. Depending on your volumes, of course, it can get costly, but it's not prohibitive. I mean, that's not a barrier that I would see in adoption, honestly. It's more, keeping the pace of advancements that is tough, because every day I see something new, and I was like, God. Again, and it's changing and changing and changing. There are so many models, there are so many providers already of Gen AI. And everybody's talking about ChatGPT because they position themselves as the first ones. But
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy. But I do see, transcription. We tried to sell some automated transcriptions back like 3 years ago. It was impossible. Now, if some customers still want them, want it, I mean, we can do it in a very easy way, I would say. Very, very, very easy. There are so many use cases, and it's not only, and this I want to say as well, because I've invested in this a lot. It's not only about providing a cheaper service to the customer, or saving costs on the translation bit. It's about rethinking our companies altogether, like anything from accounting to how we manage communication with our stakeholders. We can use GenAI in so many different things that it's crazy. We could maybe start as an industry, and this is not done by all the companies, maybe marketing ourselves in a better way.
Yeah.
There are companies that are completely offline, and they miss opportunities. We can use Gen AI to be more present online, for instance. And that's the most obvious use case. But still, I see many companies not being online, or companies using Gen AI with no thinking, and you can see the usual words by ChatGPT, or the usual use of uppercase letters. And this I wouldn't do, because it's our business card, and we cannot communicate on our channels, showing our potential customers that we cannot master those tools. And this is where we need linguists. I have a linguist now in my company that I moved from the pure linguistic team to curating our contents, online, offline, whatever, social media, LinkedIn, articles, blogs, whatever, using AI, of course, because we need to use it, because it's good. Fixing the output, yes, of course. And she can do that because she's a linguist.
Yeah. this is how we can position ourselves in this specialized linguists. How and yeah, this is how we can position ourselves. And one of the things that you said regarding the last question is, and I want to emphasize sometimes this is the cost. I think what reflects more in the cost is about the volume that you use, right? Because if you use for like small stuff, it won't be costly. It's getting cheaper and cheaper every day. But when you use
Yep,
for high volumes, like if you put like millions of words per month, this can be a little bit more costly because you're going to need a lot of outputs and inputs, and
of
this is how
course.
they charge.
But
But
also, I mean, my team is also working in understanding how to provide ChatGPT or GPT with shorter prompts in order to use less tokens. And this is also something that we could do to
yeah,
provide value to the company, you know? Because if you do good prompting, you probably need less knowledge base or less context for the technology. And this is also something that they are already offering value in. There are so many ways that we could do that. So many.
yeah. Samira shared another comment here. Let's see. As a translator trainer, I emphasize client education a lot. Many times, especially with direct clients that usually pay better, we need to explain what we mean by the different services. All services have a minimum quality standard, but they vary between good enough to be understood for light MTPE to top-notch personalization and adaptation to the client-specific needs for translation, for example. Yeah, this is in I one of the things that Renato says a lot, and I tend and I agree a lot with that. It's we manage complexity, and I totally agree with that. This is the
Yeah,
complexity of the different expectation from different clients, different industry. You know, yeah, and I know that it's hard because we live this here as well. We manage these different expectations, different requests, and this is this is why Renato said that we are going to strive that. It's because we manage these complexities, and I agree with that. You know, what do you think, Diego?
absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. We do manage complexity. We, as Renato keeps saying, we don't do translation. We do project management, for instance, as LSPs. Totally agree with that. I do think, though, that we need to really change the way we work completely and the way we see our teams. I believe our project managers should upskill as well, do probably some other jobs. I moved 6 people into my innovation team, and there are one is project manager, two are linguists. Well, one was already an engineer. He's an engineer. Those are difficult to change. But I mean, we need to really rethink all the teams, all the roles that they have in our company, and put them where they feel satisfied and where they add value for us. Uh, it's not that easy to do. I struggled, but now you can see their smile in their face where they find the right solution for our customers. And linguists, I mean, they now see the bigger picture rather than that only bit of review or quality or translation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I really think that things will change a lot. I don't see CAD tools anymore. I don't see the operation systems that we used to have right now. I see more like a collection of different things and different apps or different workflows for different features, different roles. I think it's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
But this needs a little bit of rethinking and being up to date with what is happening. You know, I always say this. I heard about translation being threatened on TV, and this happened many years ago in a stupid TV show. But they said translation is one of the jobs that is going to be threatened very soon, and they were right. The danger is that every customer was watching that TV show probably, and they're now convinced that translation doesn't have value anymore. And partially they might be right as well. And and this is a danger. I was talking with a customer, very smart customer communication company, web agency. I mentioned DeepL and they had no idea what it was.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you think they would know Gen AI and ChatGPT? Of course. So this is the real threat for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Everybody knows that, But
yeah.
because for many years, Google, I mean, machine translation uh, with customers sounded like, bullshit, basically, garbage, to be
Yeah.
more educated. So some customers now still think that machine translation is garbage, and you still see examples of bad machine translation. And this is in their customers' mind. But Gen AI, they've done good marketing, I think, because everybody's convinced Gen AI is going to solve everything. And this is a danger for us.
Yeah. Even the hallucinations were not enough for them to see as a threat, right? um,
You can work on that.
yeah.
Uh, you know what? You need to have linguists working with engineers and build prompts and build knowledge base that prevents hallucination from happening. And this is, I see this easier for linguists to be able to sit with engineers than it was with machine translation. I mean, I've been doing machine translation translating forever since the start. I don't have my own machine translation engine
Okay.
because it was too difficult for me to buy it, choose it, host it, train it, and I never went. That also because I work with many different customers, and I know I don't have that huge industry that I would use an engine on. And now I'm able to customize different workflows, to customize different outputs and prompts, and it's easier now for us to interact with those systems than from my side, from my point of view. I
Yeah.
might be mistaken.
Mhm.
Than it was with machine translation.
Yeah.
The adoption barrier is much, much lower to me.
Yeah. And this is reflects what we were talking earlier because machine translation, CAT tools, and machine translation are not saying about Google Translate. Machine
Mhm.
translation, the NMT and everything, they were designed for uh, I believe it's designed for the translation departments, LSPs, localization
Mhm.
department, for people within the localization industry, the language business. And Gen AI is for
Mhm.
everybody. So
Yeah.
that's why with people from outside only saw Google Translate and machine translation. So it was back then it was garbage.
Yep.
Today it's a bit good. It improved, but Gen AI is totally different, and this is and I think this is the message that we are bringing here. It's like we as LSPs, linguists, we have to be aware, understand, try it, and as much as we can, reinvent ourselves and reinvent our. And I don't like this word because it took different meanings, but reinvent our mindset towards these technologies because it will affect us sooner or later, right? I was talking to Diego before. Uh, from my experience, we don't have too much interference of Gen AI in our work right now, but sooner or later will.
Absolutely, it will. Unfortunately, it will. Totally. Paolo, we started last year I started to think about delivering workshops on AI to companies also outside of the industry for many different reasons. First is translation was already going down and I needed more revenue. And second is I thought that by going there and in the companies, by delivering workshops on site, I would kind of awaken their curiosity about the tools and they would buy the service afterwards. And this is happening. This
Oh,
is really
nice.
happening. Um, Also, big companies outside of our bigger industry now, they have no clue of what this they can do with these tools. when we explain them with a very basic introductory workshop, we are lucky. We have Constantine delivering good workshops already back in March last year, but in other industries, they are not so lucky. They are astonished by the savings that they can foresee and imagine, and the different use cases, and how quicker and more productive they can become. I then go in the narrative that into the narrative that AI will not threaten, jobs, because I see this happening already
Yeah.
a lot. But again, today I was following a webinar, and this consultant showed how to create a website in a matter of minutes, if not seconds. There are so many things that we can use Gen AI as individuals before being a company, that it's crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
And there are so many different things that they can try and sell. I mean, go and ask ChatGPT what product we could invent with using Gen AI, or what are the different things we can do. Even linguists. I mean, they just got before the webinar an application from a linguist, and the email that that person wrote was so low quality. Why don't we use Gen AI to make it better? I mean, we can train it very quickly to follow our own tone of voice and write better application emails. We can write better cold reach messages. There are different usages
Yeah.
really that we can adapt to, that would make us more productive and even better, even better than we are.
Yeah. Here in our company,
But yeah,
nobody.
my biggest advice is,
No, no,
sorry.
please continue.
No, I would say that we should really. I know many people, even in my friends, base, that they never tried it. Never tried it. I was like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Have you never tried it? And when they do, they I mean, they still look for crazy images,
Yeah.
funny ones. But there's so much you can do to improve any job, any
Yeah.
life. You can plan your holidays. You can, I don't know. I mean, it is crazy. I think the better the idea. I mean, anything can be realized with Gen AI.
Yeah.
Probably. And it's just the power of the idea that you need to develop, probably. Sometimes I feel like I was calling it blank sheet
Uh-huh.
syndrome. I have it in front of me, and I have like different LLMs on my computer, on my phone as well. I have eight different
Wow.
systems. And sometimes when my wife falls asleep on the couch and my kids are sleeping already, I'm like, now what I can do with that? And sometimes I don't do anything because I have this syndrome. But I mean, it is crazy. Go
Yeah.
there and try it if you haven't, because
Yeah. And in my company, I was saying in my company, nobody writes minutes of meetings anymore. Nobody writes it
yeah,
because it's not needed anymore. It's just put AI, and of
no,
course, in the end, we have to change one bit of things, but it's done.
I found an application last week, and it was crazy because I didn't find it earlier, from a YouTube video without even looking at it, watch it all. It will transcript, of course, and give you a summary in any form that you want, in any form, like 5 bullet points, 10, or a narrative, a story, whatever, in any form. And it's free, it's there, it's based on ChatGPT, and it's amazing. Amazing
Wow.
how many minutes, how many meetings we spend hours, writing the minutes, and now we don't do that anymore, of
Yeah.
course, as well.
Uh, in
And privacy, because,
Yeah,
well, yes,
privacy.
I mean, privacy. We don't talk about starting a war somewhere. I mean, we talk about our business and how we manage our teams, so it's not even a concern.
Yeah.
So
Well, and we are we are reaching the end of our conversation, but I remember in the Bliss conference there was Aline Rocks. She presented how to use AI in your daily life. It was not too much as to use in your work, but more in
Mhm.
your daily life. And she she shared that she fixed her uh, oven with ChatGPT.
Mhm. Mhm.
She was like, I don't know if like it will explode later, but I fix it.
Yeah, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I was walking my lunch break because usually I don't have lunch. I just walk and get the ideas and add an idea. And many times I forget about my ideas. So what I do usually is I dictate an email in my phone and I send the email to me. This time I had this crazy idea of recording my ideas. I was talking with my phone and I got a transcript and was done like this. And it was the full idea, not dictation, a short thing that I did. When you will post the this video on your YouTube channel, go there. I will give you this application. It's called the Clasp.
Okay.
Let me paste it here. It's free, and you can even edit the prompt to do
Oh,
with the video whatever you want.
okay.
And imagine, not being able to watch a 2-hour training program on anything and being able to get a guide out of that you can read on your train where you have no connection. I mean, there are so many use cases. I'm getting mad with the multitude of things that you could do in your
Yeah.
daily life, as you said as well.
Yeah. And Diego, we are reaching our final remarks here. And I don't know if you can hear, but my dog is really crazy in the balcony right now. But I hope that the sound is not it's not
If
reaching.
he's barking, it's good.
Yeah.
It's
But
like,
but I think the main point here in our conversation is that Gen AI is there as machine translation was in the future, but it's not the same. It's bigger. And we
yeah,
need to understand, and to understand, we need to try it and check with people who understand it more, bring people who understand more to our companies, and trying to create this as how can I say, a motive or something for us to reinvent ourselves, right?
yeah. As translation companies, my suggestion would be talk with your team as well. Try to break this barrier because some of them might have this barrier of not want having anything to do with this technology because this is how they get curious and they start using it. And one of my biggest regrets is that I'm only doing right now, after I'm talking about it for 18 months, a workshop with my team right now after 18 months, basically. And they are all wow in any department, in any role that they have, they are wow, and they really start contributing to that because it starts from individual, it's collective brainstorming, collective intelligence, and this is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Diego, thank you again for accepting. Thank you again for your time here, and thank you for this conversation. I
It was a big
think
pleasure.
this is a crucial moment in our industry, and we, as Bliss or Elia, Gala, all of the associations, we have like in our purpose, and we need to do that. We need to enable this type of conversation and sharing this type of knowledge, and it's really important for us to do that. And thank you again, and thank you everyone who was here participating. Thank you after watching this recording, and I wish you all. It's 3 p.m. there now in Brazil. It's No, no, it's 3 p.m. there. It's for you, it's 8 p.m., right?
Yep.
And for here is 7. So thank you. Have a great rest of the week, Diego, and you all as well.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you to all attendees. It was a pleasure. Let's keep talking. I'm
Yeah,
always available for you, Paolo.
thank
And
you
welcome
very
to
much.
Europe.
Thank you very much. We'll arrange some a meeting someday.
Yep.
Bye,
Ciao. Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you again.
Ciao.
Bye bye.